What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm back with another Raw Talk, Smack Talk, spilling the NXT, AEW, inside the AEW Impact thing. There's a whole lot of going on. I have my handy dandy notebook, but it's a lot. So what's going to happen is I'm going to talk about all the shows, what's been going on in wrestling, and then I'm going to probably go back to doing my normal Raw, SmackDown, maybe AEW, maybe NXT reviews. I'm only doing Impact because there's a lot of stuff that happened in Impact. A lot of stuff happened in AEW, a lot of stuff happened in WWE. No more of the headset. The headset is no longer a thing because of my laptop, which I don't have any of my cameras or anything on my laptop because I didn't have any space because I tried to do this last week and I didn't have no space, so I tried to delete a whole bunch of stuff. And I guess one of the things I deleted was my camera. As you can see, this is my laptop right here, and then I go with my mouse switch right here. I go to that. I go there. Go to camera, and it goes no. I was like, no, wait, no. I was like, oh, okay, that's disrespectful. So for now on, my laptop is going to be used for social media and doing things like that. No longer for videos. I'm going to be using my phone. So yay! And now, really, if I really want to edit stuff, I can do that too on my phone and the laptop. So we'll see what happens. So, anyways, wrestling's been interesting. A lot of going on. I don't remember the last time I talked about wrestling. It was probably sometime last year, which I can look on my thing. I can actually use this to look it up. Hopefully you guys won't be in the way, or I could just close up on you guys, so it doesn't really matter. Last time I did a review on Raw or SmackDown or NXT or anything on my channel, and it says 2 months ago, which was in, okay, it doesn't say when, it just says 2 months ago. So we're in March, January, so sometime in January. Says Rollins turning face, the Prince returns. Okay, so this was before Rumble. So wow, this was beginning of January. I think some things that happened was they mentioned that Mickie James, who was Impact Knockouts champion, she was going to be in the Royal Rumble, like the Women's Royal Rumble. It was a whole thing. Crowd went crazy. Everybody on Twitter went nuts because Impact champion, like the Women's Impact champion, Mickie James, she's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Forbidden Door. Hold that punch in the face. So that was a whole thing that happened. But that was it. She eliminated Michelle McCool, and then she got out. I think Melina was in it, who was also, I think she's part of NWA, I think, and she also was eliminated early. But she then said she said that she had got out early on purpose because I think her ankle messed up, her ankle gave up on her or something like that. So she just got off the thing early herself. So that was a whole thing. That was a big thing that happened in January. What else happened? I think that was really the biggest thing that happened on Impact. For Impact, they had their pay-per-view, Hardcore Justice. I don't remember. They had their pay-per-view, and Mickie James, I don't remember. She beat somebody to keep her title. Oh, she beat Deonna Purrazzo to keep the title, and then she went to the Royal Rumble, where she obviously didn't win. And then she was in a triple threat match, and I think she won that. And then I think she just lost the title to Tasha Steelz, who was part of Fire and Flavor with Kara Hogan, she's just greatness. So that was the whole thing that happened. So she's now champion. Good for her. I think Violent by Design by this time now is tag team champions. I think they beat the Good Brothers on our last show. Motor City Machine Guns came back, and they faced Bullet Club's Chris Bay and Switchblade. They beat them. I think Matt Cardona is all the champions everywhere. He has like 25 titles. Moose is still champion. He beat W. Morrissey, who's Big Cass in WWE. Beat him, and I think he ended up going to. I think Josh Alexander came back, so there's going to be a thing between them. Josh Alexander won the title, and then instantly Moose did his cash in, and Moose ended up beating him. They got Honor No More. That's a whole thing now that people, because Ring of Honor shut down, they kind of come back and they kind of not coming back. Eddie Edwards turned on them. That was fun. Eddie Edwards, because he was the actual heart and soul of it, but they took him for advantage, and now he turned on all of them, and then he beats everybody up in Impact. That's good stuff. I think that's about it. That's all the Impact news I got. Yeah, that's it. Speaking of Honor No More and Ring of Honor, segue. AEW, Tony Khan has purchased Ring of Honor, the whole library, the whole kit and caboodle. He did all of that. He just said, and this was during Revolution. I think the pay-per-view Revolution that I actually watched, that was good stuff. He said in the beginning of the show that he purchased Revolution, or he purchased Ring of Honor, and then that led to CM Punk coming out with his Ring of Honor music, which was dope, because at first MJF came out and CM Punk's original music, it was and then it was like psych, and then MJF came out his own music, and then they did CM Punk's I think it's AFO. I'm not that cultured in Ring of Honor. I've seen some matches. I'm about to look it up now. Oh, actually, this might help me if I do this, and it could look stuff up. CM Punk. Oh, I spelled Punk wrong. Nobody saw that though. CM Punk. ROH. ROH theme. It is called Mysteria Cantara. Mysteria Cantara. By who's by? I think they're AFO. I might have said their name wrong. I don't know. I can't see it. I don't know. But apparently that's a lot of praise has been going on, and I heard it, and it was good. It was good stuff. I'm also looking, since I'm on like the camera, I was looking to see if I was still recording. The recording button's up there. I was looking down here like, where's the recording? It's up there. So just kidding. So yeah, I think it's Revolution. I think that was the pay-per-view that happened. It was a good pay-per-view. Eddie Kingston got that big win that he really, really needed. He tapped out Chris Jericho. And then this recently, Chris Jericho kind of shook his hand a little bit. But then he got 2.0, who's no longer 2.0. It's the whole thing. They beat up Eddie Kingston and my guys, LAX, who's not LAX, Santana Ortiz. They beat them up. So that's all good stuff. And then this past Wednesday, Chris Jericho said it's the Jericho Appreciation Committee or something like that. And he pretty much talked about them being all sports entertainers and why everybody appreciates Chris Jericho, and Jericho said to each one of them why they appreciated him. He threw in an old best friend Kevin Owens reference that was awesome. So yeah, that was all good stuff. Daniel Garcia said, he said, if you are a sports entertainer, then so am I. He went crazy and started laughing and stuff. It was great. So that's what's going on. What else? They did Mox and Danielson. Oh, that was good stuff too. Mox won with a little sneaky roll up, running with a little sneaky roll up, because Danielson had him in like a submission, and he went to do with the flex. Got the guns out. He went to flex and he did his thing, and Mox said, "Nah, bro," and he rolled him up for the 3. Mox bled, got some good bleeding in there. Danielson bled a little bit, but yeah, Mox was bleeding. They used thumbtacks. That was all good stuff. No, they didn't use thumbtacks. I was thinking of a different match. No thumbtacks was used in this match, but Danielson did get beat. Mox did bust open, and then they went to fight some more. And then, hello, sir, I got some tea for you. That was my British accent. Anyways, William Regal came out. He went in there. He went in the ring. He said, right on Daniel Moxley. Boom, hold that slap to the face. He go to his face like, yeah, what you gonna do? And then Danielson's like, get him, got him, you get him, Papa. And he said, bow, slap Danielson in the face. He said, you two shake hands and stuff like that. So they did, and then they had a match 2 weeks ago, and they murdered whoever their opponent was, murdered them. And then William Regal went on this long spiel about gratitude and how he thinks Dan Bryan is the best wrestler, and Mox is the best murderer. Put them together, good stuff happens. And then this past week, they did a whole thing where Yuta and Chuck Taylor was a tag team, and then they beat them up. And then Yuta was getting some stuff in, and they was like, "Hey, come back with us." And then Yuta was like, "Nah, man, I'm going back that way." And he went to shake William Regal's hand, and then Regal said, "Yalika," right in his face. And then Danielson and then was like, "Yeah, what you gonna do, Pat? What you gonna do?" He was like, "Yeah, just get a little bit more wins in, get a little bit of reps in, get serious, and then come back and holler at us." So that's gonna be Mox, and that's gonna be their whole thing. Is they're gonna take good people out of shitty groups, and they're gonna make this whole strong team. So hopefully, with this Jericho committee, they do that with Danny Garcia, because Danny Garcia is like, I'm a sports entertainer, even though deep down we know he's a wrestler. So eventually they're going to get into them, and they're going to be like, Danny Garcia, come here, one of us. It's going to be great. And then get Lee Moriarty, and then have them as the 2-man power trip, Mox and Danielson, and then bring in trios titles, and then have Daniel Garcia, Yuta, and Lee Morrissey be trios champions. I just booked you, AEW. You're welcome. That's all good stuff. CM Punk and, well, first let's talk about the ladder match, TNT ladder match. Keith Lee is great. He's pouncing and killing everybody. Him, Wardlow, and Hobbs. They got a whole bunch of good stuff in with the big Power Men stuff. They used Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy did like a couple of cool stuff with the ladder. Like they picked the ladder up, and then he went to grab the titles, and he did another thing where he like flipped up and went to grab titles. There was cool stuff, but everybody was taken out. My boy, FTW champion, I forget his name. My boy, I'm trying to do all this off memory. It's my boy. I know my boy. Ricky Starks. Absolute Ricky Starks. He tried to get involved, but Wardlow, who had done slamming Keith Lee and Powerhouse Hobbs out, he went in the ring and he said, "Hold this!" Boom! Powerbomb to my man's poor guy, absolute Ricky Starks, and he just was like that. And then he got the brass ring. It was great stuff. So that had meant that he was going to face the winner of Scorpio Sky and Sammy Guevara. After Guevara had that fantastic triple threat with Andrade and Darby Allin. On Rampage. That match was so good. and then they won their match at the pay-per-view. So that was all good stuff. And then Sky beat Sammy Guevara in a very overbooked main event 2 weeks ago. And then the past week, he beat Wardlow because of MJF, who MJF lost to CM Punk, the dog collar match that had the thumbtacks that I mentioned before that I said to Danielson, and that didn't happen. But this match had thumbtacks. It was great. I loved it. It was fantastic. And yeah, CM Punk wins. MJF is calling Wardlow down. Wardlow's coming down, and he's like, just trying to get the ring. Oh, darn it! I don't know where the ring is. I misplaced the sugar. I misplaced the ring. Rats! And then he turns around, boom, hits him with a go to sleep. And then after that, he looks at Wardlow. He was like, hear it. Messed the pocket. Here's the ring. And he sets it down. And then CM Punk grabs it. Hold that, MJF. 1, 2, 3. CM Punk wins. Good stuff. And then Shawn Spears comes down. He kind of distracts the ref a little bit. And then MJF comes out of nowhere. I think he puts him on a post and smocks him, pops him with the diamond ring, and then Scorpio Sky retains the title that way. Which, it is what it is. I ain't mad about it. So Wardlow's going to murder Shawn Spears, and then he's going to rip MJF's throat out of his body. Other stuff that happened. Hardy Boys are together. You know, Matt Hardy kind of apologized to Sting and Darby Allin about being pricks. Tried to be nice to the Andrade family office now. And then they all jumped him. And then Sting and Darby Allin came out. And then they helped him, and they were getting jumped. And then Jeff Hardy came down the ring. He was dancing. He came down the ring while his brothers getting beat. He was like, yeah, all those years for beating me up. This is what you get, brother. And then that happened. So that was all good stuff. And then we came out, Twist of Fate, all that good stuff. And then they had the match against Private Party, of course. Twist of Fate, hold all that good stuff. You know, the greatest hits from the Hardy Boys. And now their roster in the tag team division is even more stacked. You already got Redragon already came there. They got them. They got the Bucks. They got Jungle Express. Jurassic Express. They got LAX. They got the Acclaim. They got, what else is it? They got like a million tag teams. FTR, who's the greatest tag team in AEW right now. And them and Santana Ortiz are there. Speaking of FTR, they're gonna face the Briscoes at that honor show, and it'll be fantastic. FTR is gonna win those tag team titles too, anyways. But anyways, that's all gonna be great stuff. Pay-per-view. Britt Baker beat Thunder Rosa with help of Jamie Hayter and Rebel. Yeah, beat her. They helped her, and then Dr. DMD retained. But it was like, how she retained? And then they found out that not the following Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that, it was, you know, the show was going to be in Texas, in San Antonio, which is where Thunder Rosa was from. So that's where she won. They had her and Leila Hirsch last week, the week before, face each other, which was good stuff. And Thunder Rosa won. And then guess what happened the following this past Wednesday? Steel cage match. Thunder Rosa wins in her hometown. Oh, it was great. It's good stuff. Blood, bleeding, and it was all good stuff. New AEW Women's Champion, so that was all great stuff. Britt Baker had a really good run, but sometimes it just be that time. Who would beat her? Probably Jade Cargill, who I think had a match. Yeah, she had a match against Ty Conti. That match was pretty good, and then she kissed her, and I was like, yes, more of that. After that, what else happened on the show? Anything else besides the main event? Oh, the triple threat tag team match was really good with Jurassic Express, Young Bucks, and Red Dragon. That match was fire. There was a whole thing where um, Red Dragon and the Young Bucks were supposed to be like a team thing. They were supposed to be together. Young Bucks went to do a thing on Jungle Boy, and then Buck went to go for cover, and then Kyle O'Reilly goes, "Hey, we doing what we're supposed to be taking? What are you doing?" And then he was like, "You right." She was like, "Tag us in." So he tagged us in, and then Kyle O'Reilly did the same thing, and then Buck was like, "Hey, yo, you're supposed to tag. What are you doing?" He was like, "Oh yeah, you're right," but he didn't tag him, and he tagged him. Bobby Fish. It was great. So they was like just one upping each other, trying to beat each other up, and then when it got serious, then they went for each other. It was all good stuff. Yeah, that match was fantastic. Jungle Boy just flying all over the place, hitting DDTs, Luchasaurus just choke slamming people. It was all good stuff. And then Jungle Boy beat Matt Jackson. I think he pinned Matt Jackson in the end. I think they went for like a golden trigger. I think Kyle O'Reilly got involved. And Jackson was like, "No, why do you do that?" And they threw him out the ring. And then they went to go do something. Like I think they went for like a Doomsday or something like that. I think like Jungle Boy like reversed it to some crazy Rana thing, and he's just fantastic. So yeah, that was all good stuff. So that match was great, and then they had another match, and then they lost that. I think this past week. I think it was like a 6-man tag. Some chemistry is not going on with Adam Page and Dark Order. There seems to be like some not good things happening around going on that part. So as you can tell, Hangman Page did retain his title against Adam Cole. Baby! So yeah, that was all good stuff. The match was good. This honestly was like a takeover level match. Honestly, it was like a takeover match. It was great. They just hitting all the finishes. They was doing I think Hangman went to do like a moonsault. He tried to do something, and Adam Cole does his perfect super kick to the face in like midair thing. Heat Seeker's gone. There was the fake super kick stuff, kicking out of finishers and all the good stuff. And then Dark Order and all them they all got involved, and then Buckshot Lariat hold that. Still champion. And then I think they're gonna run it back somewhere, and Hangman's gonna win that again. Yeah, MJF is gonna be the next opponent for him. Well, not the next, but he's gonna be that main. Like when MJF enters that World Championship feud, MJF is winning that title. So I don't know when that is yet, but when that happens, MJF will be champion, because I think that's where I think he said Tony Khan said he knew who his first 5 was gonna be. I think, and it was Chris Jericho, John Moxley, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and I think that 5th one eventually down the line. I think that 5th one is going to be MJF. So he probably has to figure things out after MJF. After MJF, he probably already knows his next 5 or next 10 or however many. I would say maybe Hangman Page again and MJF again. Maybe they might do maybe CM Punk. Maybe CM Punk. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that was all good stuff. That was that Revolution. That was pretty much the pay-per-view, I think. Any other titles? Yeah, I think that was the biggest. And then of course they purchased ROH. Keith Lee was there. Keith Lee made his thing. Buddy Matthews, part of House of Black. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's all the AEW news. Speaking of AEW big news, segue. Cody's going to WWE. There was a whole bunch of speculation about as soon as he didn't resign and stuff like that. It was like, oh, he's going to WWE. They had a whole bunch of stuff about it, and I think they said that he signed like 2 weeks ago. The biggest speculation is him versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That's probably the biggest match for both of them right now. Which Cody, I'm assuming will have to. He has to win that. They did a thing where Seth and Kevin are obviously best friends. They're doing this thing. Kevin Owens' whole thing was why Texas? Texas is booty cheeks. We hate Texas. Why does WrestleMania have to be in Texas? And he said, "Well, I guess me and my best friend Seth Rollins can be tag team champions. I guess we might as well just have them be champions at WrestleMania in Texas." So they had beat RK Bro, they had beat Alpha Academy, and also who else beat them was Street Profits, because I think they beat the Street Profits too, but the Street Profits ended up beating Alpha Academy beat Street Profits. Street Profits beat RK Bro. RK Bro won the tag team titles. And now they're gonna be a thing with those three, with them, Street Profits, and Alpha Academy. Kevin Owens has focused himself on Stone Cold Steve Austin and Seth Rollins. No plans. He had a plan that he wanted to face, or what he wanted to do, the Rollins report for Stone Cold Steve Austin. He said, "Well, how about me and you have a match, and the winner gets to face Stone Cold?" And Kevin was like, "That doesn't make sense. He wants me. We already did the whole thing." And then Sonny Deville was like, "Nah, I like that idea. So main event, you two match." And then he was like, "This is stupid." And then Kevin Owens wins the match in a really good match. There's some Edge's opponent is going to be AJ Styles. Yes. Match is going to be great. Edge turned heel. He has like new heel music now. He's like, "You think you know me? You never did." And then it's kind of brutish, kind of like mid-brood, some old some Edge mixed with brood stuff. It's kind of dope. I like it. Yeah, he wanted to face AJ Styles. He beat up AJ Styles. He murdered him. So AJ Styles will probably be back eventually. He's been on Twitter a lot, but he's not been at the show. Omos has been killing people. 24/7 division's a joke. Big things going on. United States champion. Finn Balor's new U.S. champion now. He beat, what's his face? Damian Priest. They beat him. Austin Theory somehow in that mix, who's also in a feud with Pat McAfee, because Pat McAfee was on, Vince McMahon was on Pat McAfee's show. Vince McMahon said, "Pat McAfee, you want to be on WrestleMania?" He said, "Yes." He said, "I will find you an opponent." His opponent was Austin Theory. Their match is going to be actually really good. I can't actually wait for their match. It's going to be good stuff. Pat McAfee just did a promo on Austin Theory, because Austin Theory like slapped him like 2 weeks ago during the IC title match, which that's also mind blowing. Ricochet's new IC champion. That's crazy. Dolph Ziggler is the NXT champion. Like I don't know what's going on. Dolph Ziggler's the NXT champion. Finn Balor's US champion. Ricochet Intercontinental champion. I was like, oh my, like what's going on here? But yeah, during that match, she slapped him, and then Pat McAfee went crazy. He attacked Austin Theory, and then he just did a promo this week because he was supposed to apologize, and he pretty much was like, I grew up being a wrestling fan. He dunked on USA, which was hilarious because obviously it's on Fox on SmackDown, so he still finds a way to dump on the USA Network. He said, "I always wanted to do this." He talks about having a ring and how he got in shape and all those good stuff. And then my boy comes down, Austin Theory. He's talking about, "Hey, you're supposed to apologize to me," and then he was like, "I'm and then Pat McAfee just goes like, I'm sorry that I whooped your ass last week. I'm sorry that your parents raised a punk biatch." He said, "I'm sorry that you're lame." He like went crazy promo on him. It was fantastic. And then like Austin Theory like didn't know what to do. He just like looked at him. He took a selfie with him and he pushed him and said, "Hey, you apologized." So that was all good stuff. Pat McAfee is so good. He's so good. He's so good. Brock Lesnar got murdered um, at Madison Square Garden after he beat Austin Theory in that match. He also beat him in Hell in the Cell. It's a whole thing. I don't feel like going through all that. But yeah, at Madison Square Garden, he retained his title, and then Roman Reigns came out. He murdered Brock Lesnar. He put up both titles until he came back. Charlotte, acknowledge me. There's a whole funny thing where where Paul Heyman was like, "Oh, he's in Saskatchewan. He's not there. The plane didn't land. Whatever like that." He was like, "Well, I did my duty." He starts to talk about how he was going to smash him. He was going to beat him up. He's like, "Yeah, if he was there, he would smash him, beat him up. He'd lay his blood all over the floor and stuff like that." And then Paul Heyman looks at the phone. He's like, "Hey, that tribal chief." He was like, "Hey, didn't you already tell me in the news that people came to see me?" He's like, but he actually landed and he's coming here. And then Roman was like, "Well, he's coming where?" Like, here, you just said he didn't, and they just like bickered back and forth. He's like, "What are you gonna do?" He was like, "Well, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wrap this up and leave it to you." And, and the Usos just leave. It was hilarious. And then they're about to get in the car. Brock Lesnar pulls in with a forklift, and then like smashes the car, and then they hightail somebody else's car, and then Brock Lesnar comes with a big old door handle, like carrying it like a suitcase, and just walks out of the ring and said he's going to beat him up at WrestleMania. He's not going to do that, but that's what he said he's going to do. All great stuff. So that's all good stuff. Ricochet beat Sami Zayn for the title. Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville has been doing fantastic stuff. They're doing all good stuff. Johnny Knoxville leaked Sami Zayn's number, and it's been going crazy ever since. Women's tag team match. They had Carmella and Queen Zelina on commentary or something like that. As Liv and Rhea Ripley came to SmackDown, they faced Sasha and Naomi. That was good stuff until Sasha, Shayna and Natalya got involved. That was a whole thing that happened. That was stupid, but whatever. But yeah, it was what it was. Now it's a fatal 4-way. Great. Yeah. You can give me some Sasha Banks versus Rhea Ripley 1-on-1 though. Just give me some of that, and I'll take that. I think if they want to be in the match, I think they got to beat up Doudrop and Nikki ASH. They got to beat them up because I know that now they're gonna be like, we want to be in the match, even though that Sasha and Naomi just beat them last week. Somehow they're in the match, but whatever. That's stupid. What else is going on? Cody is in WWE. Yeah, he's facing Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens is going to do a thing with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Edge, and AJ Styles, which is going to be good stuff. It's going to be great. Uso is going to face Boogs and Nakamura. Okay. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler's NXT champion. That's good. Oh, Pete Dunne is now Butch. That's a whole thing. Pete Dunne is Butch. That's great. I'm on. There's my remote. I'm on the thing, so I can see like what's some WWE stuff that's been going on. WWE, WWE. I think that's the main thing that's going on with WWE. I would assume, honestly, I would assume that they might. I don't know how their tickets are. Like, they might, watch WWE and see what happens, and might save Cody for there, or maybe Cody, because there's 2 weeks left. Maybe Cody might end up being on one of the episodes of Raw and be like, "Oh, I'm your opponent." Maybe the Raw before WrestleMania, they might do it, or they might do it as a surprise. Oh, big ups to Big E. Keep him in your prayers because he broke his neck. Rest in peace, Razor Ramon. The bad guy, Chico. Hey, yo. He was good stuff. He was fantastic. I think that's really it. Nothing else, really. I think Ray and Dominic are facing Miz and Logan Paul. And We don't care about that. Yep, that's really it. They might do a thing with whatchamacallit, which will be good stuff. Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio. They might give me some of that. That's some good stuff. Um, and Tommaso Ciampa's gonna face D'Angelo. If anybody cares. Champa. Yeah. What else? What else is going on? Nothing really. I think that's about it. Yeah. Ron Breaker is probably going to the main roster. Like they're probably going to send him right to the main roster. He might go to SmackDown honestly to take that title off of Brock Lesnar. Low key. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then the two title. Oh my God, how am I forgetting this? Becky and Bianca Belair should headline WrestleMania. They really should. Charlotte and Ronda Rousey, I'm not interested in. I'm not going to hold you. There's a couple of cool stuff that they're doing with the. I think their match might end up being a submission match because they talk about who can tap who out. Uh, Charlotte's saying that Ronda's a one-trick pony because she only got the armbar, and then she had it with the ankle lock, and it was like, yeah, this is my friend Kurt Angle. He taught me, so I gotta use that to, tap her out. And then she put in a horrible Boston Crab on Ronda, but she was like, oh, if she wasn't there, I'd tap her out a couple more seconds, and then she did another Boston Crab or something like that, but she never tapped out again like this past week. But she power bombed her on that table, and that shit looked like it sucked. She power bombed her. Her mouth was started bleeding. That was craziness. But yeah, Becky and Bianca should definitely main event. They're the longest feud probably out of all of them. This has been dating back to last SummerSlam, which was in August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. It's been 8 months. That's been their longest feud, so they should main event. It's been going on, but who knows? It's probably still gonna be Charlotte and Becky, and they've been talking about them, the two people who's wrestled that headline WrestleMania. They won WrestleMania in their headlines. The parallels, I don't know why they don't do it, but we'll see. They should main event it, but we'll see what happens. Their feud has been fantastic. Bianca Belair is winning, and she should win the main event of night one again, WrestleMania. Well, yep, that was it. That's pretty much all that's going on. I'm going to go back to doing Raw, Raw, SmackDown, maybe NXT, maybe AEW if you guys want to see that. We'll see what happens. But that was it. This is pretty long. I'll see you guys in the next one, which will be for Raw. I also have a food video that I want to upload. I gotta edit that one stuff too. So we're gonna do that eventually. I'm gonna do that. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.